Guys, what's going on? This is Travis P11. I'd like to welcome you back to the channel. Well, today we're going to do a quick tabletop review of the Sig Sauer Mosquito. It's a 22 long rifle chambered semi-automatic pistol with a 10+1 capacity, manufactured by German Sport Guns in Germany for Sig Sauer. But before we get into the details and the overall shooting experience of this pistol, I think you should know that this pistol is on loan to me from Stan, the owner of SS Pawn in Lexington, Nebraska. Guys, I want you to give SS Pawn a call and they will take care of all of your firearms needs. They do loan firearms to the channel for me to test and bring to you. Give them a call, they'll give you the best prices anywhere. Alright, so a little bit about the Sig Sauer Mosquito. The Sig Sauer Mosquito is no longer in production, okay? Like I mentioned before, it was manufactured by German Sport Guns in Germany for Sig Sauer. Sig Sauer got out of the manufacture or marketing of this pistol back in around 2015. I've heard anywhere between 2013 and 2015. However, you can still buy a version of it known as the ATI GSG Firefly. Before we handle the pistol or do anything else with it, let's ensure that the firearm is in fact unloaded. Magazine is empty. Check the chamber. Chamber is empty. We're all good to go. Now, if you're familiar with the Sig Sauer P226 or any sort of SIG for that matter in the P series, you're already somewhat familiar with the ergonomics and the design. Just kind of some specifications about the pistol. The overall length of the pistol is 7.2 inches. The barrel is a 3.9 inch long threaded barrel, so you can put a suppressor on it if you have the proper suppressor to add on the end there. Capacity is 10+1, weight is 24.6 ounces. Now this one has a Desert Digicam that's been hydro-dipped to the frame and the slide. It's a very durable finish and it's hardly showing any wear whatsoever. I did take this firearm to the range and I did run 3 different kinds of ammunition through it. We ran CCI Mini Mag, CCI Stinger, and CCI Standard Velocity. If I'm not mistaken, the CCI Mini Mag was the best functioning round, not necessarily the most accurate, but I had zero issues running the Mini Mags through this pistol. The CCI Stingers did have some feeding issues on the first round when I would try to chamber it out of the magazine, and so you want to kind of watch out when you take this pistol to range. One of the criticisms of this pistol is that it can be somewhat ammo finicky, as well as other models in the GSG line. Okay, just the basics of it, what you need to know. All right, you do have a decocker on it, which is very nice. So you can have a full double action trigger pull, which is very, very heavy. It's around, I've heard anywhere between 14 and 15 pounds. Now the double action pull, I'm sorry, the single action pull is much lighter. It's very crisp. I mean, it's very reminiscent of the P226 or 228 or even the 220 for that matter. It's just got a little bit of play and then it'll have some break on it. Disassembly is a little bit complicated. It's not impossible, but you definitely need to do some research before you take it apart. Whereas most of your SIG models, you simply pull back on the slide, pull down on the takedown lever, release the slide, slide goes forward. On this one, you rotate the takedown lever 180 degrees, pull back on the slide and lift off, and then it comes out. It's almost like a blowback design. I guess you could say it is. You've got a fixed barrel with a recoil spring that's not captive, so when you take it off, you need to be careful that you don't launch the slide and you don't launch the spring in the other direction. It does take a little bit of practice, but it's not impossible. I do have a cleaning video on this pistol, and if you watch that, I do show you the procedure for doing so. Just some of the basic features about it. I believe that we have a reversible magazine release. Like I said, you do have a proprietary 10-round magazine. Another complaint about this pistol is that these are a little hard to source. I guess that SIG made some plastic versions of these and that they are a little bit pricey. So if you can ever find one and you have this pistol, I highly recommend you buy one. I believe the pistol only came with one magazine, but it could be wrong. I only got one magazine in the box, but you'll need to do some research on that as you look around for these. Like I said before, you do have the decocker, which is very reminiscent of the Sig Sauer P226 and other P-series pistols. You've got your slide stop / slide release back here. You do have an ambidextrous safety, which is very nice. Okay, you can carry the pistol cocked and locked if you wanted to, okay, and you've got your safety in the way. Now granted, that's just a safety, that's not a guarantee that the hammer would not drop on it, but when you're at the range you could go that round if you want to. So you have a nice crisp, quick single action trigger pull. At the range I had some mixed results on it. I was shooting a pretty good group with it. It's 22 pistols are always a challenge for me to shoot well. We'll roll some footage down here in the bottom left corner and you can see what my targets look like when I was shooting. You know, it's one of those things where just even a little slightest little twitch, it's just so much more amplified on the paper than it is, in my opinion, with the larger caliber, say a 9 or a 40 or a 45. You've got some nice neon yellow 3-dot sights on the back. It's very easy to make out your target, okay? The pistol was, I fired at, I believe, 5 yards and 10 yards. I didn't go way out there, mainly because I was a little bit limited on time, and I just wanted to check the functionality of the pistol with 3 different kinds of ammo. just as well as your basic out-of-the-box accuracy. The grip for adult hands, it feels, you know, somewhat compact, but it's very comfortable. You do have a very heavy slide up on the top. And I gotta be honest with you, out of all the pistols I've ever fired in my life, this thing with the standard velocity CCI ammo in it has some of the least amount of recoil I have ever felt. In fact, when I first pulled the trigger, I didn't even really know if the gun went off. I know that's a stupid thing to say, but I mean, I just, the shell flying out obviously was an indicator, but I fired and I was like, wow, that was it? I was expecting a bit more because I had just finished firing a couple hundred rounds through a 9mm before I made the video for this pistol. So this would be an awesome first pistol for a young person or somebody who's recoil sensitive, maybe an elderly person that doesn't have a lot of hand strength because the slide is so easy to manipulate. Buttons are very simple to operate. Ergonomics are very simple. The grip is wonderful, although a bit slippery. I don't know if it's because of the hydro dipping. It's just not very aggressive. Let's just talk about price right now. I really can't tell you what these cost when they were brand new. This particular model, and that's a problem with looking for guns online. This model with the hydro dip graphics, the Desert Digicam, the extended barrel, I've seen them selling on Gunbroker for anywhere between $400 and $700. Which is nuts because the current production ATI GSG Firefly, which is basically this pistol for all intents and purposes, sells for about $219 on classic firearms. So you got to remember GSG manufactured these pistols for Sig, and these pistols were imported from Germany for Sig. So you were basically getting the GSG rebranded pistol. Okay, now if it's a Sig to you, that's fine. You want to pay that premium, you go right ahead. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, you've got the Sig branding on it, the Sig name, Sig design, and so on. But if you just want one just to have one, there's nothing wrong with going with the ATI imported GSG Firefly, which is a relatively new pistol on the market right now. I think it's been out for just maybe a year or two, if I'm not mistaken. You do have your tactical rail on it, so you can add your Picatinny accessories, your lights, your lasers, your laser light combos if you want to. With the threaded barrel, you can add a suppressor if you wanted to. It's got the higher sights on it, so it should be able to clear a suppressor with no problems. Sights are, believe they are steel. Yeah, they do feel like it. They're not, yeah, they are starting to wear a little bit like steel. So you're getting some decent sights on there also. I mean, overall, the thing is, I absolutely love shooting Sig Sauer pistols. I fired a 226, a 228, and a 220 so far, as well as this 22. And some of the Sig Sauer AR-15 platform rifles. Absolutely love them. I think they're worth the money. That's just my opinion, and this is coming from a person that doesn't even own one. Okay, I would love to have a 226 if I had an extra $800 or $900 sitting around. But it's a great pistol. This would be the GSG version. If you don't want to spend the money, the ATI GSG Firefly would be, like I said, a great introductory pistol to teach kids the basics of, you know, single action versus double action. Using a safety if you feel that's necessary. Basic takedown and cleaning. It is, like I said, it is a heavy gun. We are talking about 24.6 ounces unloaded. And I mean, you can feel the weight, and it does feel fairly top heavy because of that slide. But, you know, if you ever have a chance to pick one up, just with the fact that 22LR in my area, okay, in central Nebraska, is really starting to show up on the shelves again at your Walmart and stuff. It is readily available. I would pick up a pistol like this because it might make for some extended sessions at the range. You know, it wouldn't be too expensive to take it out and just run through a box or half a box and really practice with it. Now, granted, you know, I put less than 100 rounds through it at the range. It was a blast to shoot. It was a lot of fun. I can't really tell you if it would start to have any issues with carbon fouling or buildup or jamming past 100 rounds. You know, sometimes you get that with blowback 22s. There's a lot of burnt powder that builds up back here, and then you start to run into some feeding issues. Now, like I said, the only feeding issues that I recall, I'd have to go back and check the video, was with the CCI Stinger ammo. I don't know if it's just the waxy coating on the copper bullet that was causing problems, but I would try to just pull back on the slide and release that first round, and it would jam. And on one or two occasions, I would push the button and it would jam up the round when it would load in there. But I did not have that problem with the other CCI ammo that I shot. So if you buy one of these, please make sure that you take different brands of ammo with you to the range and find what's going to work best for it. I would recommend high velocity ammunition just because, in my opinion, that's going to have a little more punch, a little more kick. I felt more recoil when I was shooting the mini mags and the stingers through this pistol than I did with standard velocity. You're probably going to be less likely to have issues because you've got that force enough to throw the slide and cycle it properly. Okay, so that's pretty much it in a nutshell. All right, so would I recommend it? Would I buy one? Oh, absolutely. You know, the double action trigger pull is very heavy, but I mean, the ergonomics, the feel, the overall build and quality is definitely solid. There's no rattles, there's no creaks. It is put together really well. You know, it's just a neat little gun. You do have a steel guide rod, something else we should probably mention, so you don't have to worry about having any issues with flexing or warping down the road. Takedown and cleaning, a little bit of a pain, but you know, it's a 22, so it's not too bad when it comes to cleaning time, just in terms of how much work it actually takes to get the gun to where you want it. So I think that's pretty much about it. All right, guys, I want to thank you for joining me today. Okay, this has been the Sig Sauer Mosquito, actually manufactured by GSG, German Sport Guns in Germany for SIG. Guys, I hope you liked the channel. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like or subscribe. You can check me out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I'm also over on gunchannels.com with the Ordinary Average Guy Gun channel. And we have a live podcast called The Caliber Corner, which is on Saturday mornings at 8 a.m. on YouTube when I'm around to make the videos we do. And I have a great time with that. And also you can support the channel directly, guys. If you go to patreon.com/TravisP11, you can contribute to the channel directly, where we use the money to buy things like ammo and firearms and supplies and range memberships and all that fun stuff to keep the channel rolling. So I think that's pretty much it. Guys, I want you to have yourselves a great week this week. I want you to have fun. I want you to be safe. And as you know, we will talk to you soon. All right, take care. Bye-bye.